Hello everybody, welcome back to the AdvancedVape channel. Today we're going to be taking a look at the ELDER DRAGON RDA from WOTOFO, and a name that I'm not going to try and pronounce right there. I would just mess it up. Anyway, real quick before we talk about the atomizer, talk about what's in there. Got a drip tip adapter and another drip tip, Phillips head, and an Allen key for the squonk pin, a little stepped jig to determine the sizing that you can use for multiple things, with a little indication on what size you should use for this particular atomizer, but this can be reused. And then the typical WOTOFO cotton little bag with a squonk pin and some O-rings and coils and instructions. So I'm not going to use the coils or the cotton or anything. We are going to use this, but let's take a look at the actual atomizer. So it's a little single coil RDA. Pretty clean design. And a really cool build deck on it. So it's got airflow tubes on the side here, and here, and the same on the other side. And they channel downwards as tubes, if you can see that, straight to the coil. Not sure how well that's showing up on camera, but they go straight downwards. A little bit of a notch there for installation, and the actual build deck. When I saw pictures of it online, I thought, okay, this is going to be dual coil, I guess. There's 4 terminals there, but when I saw it in person, definitely not. Those dual coils would have to be tiny. So really it's just 4 terminals there, so that you can install either clockwise or counterclockwise single coils. Phillips head screws. Overall, a pretty clean design. I'm going to build a quad core Clapton in there today. So to use this, you just kind of drop it in to the marked area, and the width of that kind of points you in the right direction for how long to make the legs. So now, pressing up against it, I can just trim these. And now we've got it trimmed. So I only need to loosen 2 of these, obviously. And all I have to do is get the terminal, get the legs in the terminals there, and hold it centered in the jig in those little notches. Tighten it down. Make sure the other ones are tight. And that's it. That's super, super easy. About 2 seconds there, and we are already ready to go on to the dry fire. So I'm going to be putting this on the Dot Squonk 100 watt that I'm about to do a review for. Okay, let's go through the dry fire really fast. I mean, you really can't ask for easier than that. Like, I didn't even have to do anything. So that's done. You can go on to wicking. It's a little bit narrow on the room if you can see where you need to get the cotton into the coil, but it's not too bad. Because that notch is there, you don't have to wrestle with it. I know some atomizers in the past that had a similar design where that notch was not there. Trying to get the cotton down under the deck and into the coil is a pain. So not the case on this. I'm using Kendo Gold. Made it just a little too thin there. Don't be afraid to do it over again if you do it just a little too thin or thick. And it kind of rests perfectly in those little pockets there. Alright, that's it. Super fast, super easy. I'm going to do this at maybe 55. So this has a notch to make sure that the RDA is aligned with the airflow, but that notch kind of has a little bit of leeway in it, and that acts as the airflow control. So this is all the way open, and then I can close it, but I can't go past that. So really cool use of the notch there to make sure that it's lined up and also work as the airflow control. I'm going to have it wide open. A lot of warmth and density considering that it's single coil, probably down to that airflow design. If you've watched my channel, you know that I'm really into unique airflow designs, and I love channeled airflow that is kind of angled to hit the bottom half of the coil like this is. So right up my alley as far as the way that the airflow hits it, and it ends up with a smooth, really warm kind of vape. Plenty of airflow there. Plenty of clouds also, considering it's single coil. I don't have an absolutely massive coil in there, but 28 gauge quad cores are on the larger side. Really good flavor as well. Now that I've kind of vaped it a few times, we can check and see how the squonk works. It's just straight up in the center pin there, straight up the middle, so nothing unique going on with the squonk. I don't know if you can see it, but it's filling up. One thing I've noticed with the squonk, it's a little bit slow to drain, and it has the tendency to over squonk really easily, even though you're really not adding that much juice, but it has a tendency to give you a mouthful of juice if you're not careful. So pretty sensitive on the squonk, just be easy with it. Yeah, that was very saturated. Overall, it's a really nice little atomizer. I don't have anything crazy going on with it, you know, no opinions about it, because there's not something super unique about it, but it's just one of those things where the design works well. The airflow is very well designed. Kind of the perfect amount of airflow for putting a single coil in there. Hitting it at the bottom half, giving it warmth and density even though it's single coil. Whereas a lot of single coil RDAs tend to be on the cool and kind of wispy side. Either that or they go in the total opposite direction and be too restricted. So it's a good balanced RDA. You can't close down one hole. You can just kind of half moon close them, both of them. But I think that ends up working better because it's still hitting the whole coil. That ends up making it quite a bit more restricted, and the flavor kind of suffers doing that. So for me, it's wide open is the best way to use this. Yeah, it has great flavor and a great design. I think WOTOFO is really killing it right now. They're doing collaborations with people and really coming up with good designs that are well made. One thing I do want to point out that is a definite negative. This is made really well. The build quality is really good, but there's little designs here in the middle, like little engraved swirls as part of just the visual look of it, and these are really sharp. So these will absolutely cut my skin if I push down on them. If I was turning it or something, they will definitely cut me. So very, very sharp there. That's kind of out of character for WOTOFO to have sharp edges or something that's not quite machined perfectly. Not a huge deal because I don't really touch them, but it's definitely something to be aware of. They're sharp there. I can feel my skin catching on it there. And you can even see where it took part of my finger off there, just showing that. Yeah, I think it's a great choice for an affordable single coil RDA. Squonk works well, but it's a little sensitive. The flavor is really good, and it couldn't really get any easier to build on. No complaints at all about that. Easier to build on than other single coil RDAs that I've used recently. So definitely a big fan of this. If you're into the single coil RDA thing, it's absolutely worth checking out. It's affordable and well made. So I think that'll bring us to the end of this video about the ELDER DRAGON RDA from WOTOFO. If you like this video on our channel, give us a like and subscribe. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them below in the comments or send me an email. Thanks.